What's going on over there?
Nothing.
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 What's happening, everybody? What's happening?
Every time you sound like Mr. Hanky.
No, it's not true. What's up, everybody? It's Sunday live haul. Welcome to the show.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
I see Teresa in the chat. I don't know what they're talking about, but I saw her say something about
Meetups.
Nobody is interested in Zoom meetups. You know what? I feel like at the very beginning of the whole pandemic shutdown, everybody was Zooming like crazy, and then they got Zoom fatigue.
I think that's a real thing. I think
Yeah.
we're zoomed out.
We're zoomed out.
I did the New Jersey meetup last week. The New Jersey upfront, I should say, eBay's upfront, and Teresa did it as well. And it was nice to see some people on Zoom, but even in the breakout rooms, literally there were like 8 of us. So I really think people are zoomed the heck out.
Yeah.
I've talked about doing a meetup. You know, we do a meetup here in Las Vegas, and I've talked about doing one with Zoom, and it has not panned out as of yet. I think, you know, with the 50 to 60 people that we have in our meetup group, I could maybe get 5 to participate. So, you know, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know. Everybody's kind of over it.
I really want to do meetups in person, and I know a lot of us are ready to do it too, but it's just not happening here in Las Vegas yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
Nope.
Anyway, guys, welcome. It's Sunday live haul show. This is our only show that we do now regularly, but this is every Sunday. We break it into 3 parts. The first part, we go over our real numbers for the week, our gross numbers of sales across all of our platforms, and we look at some of our costs, particularly our costs of goods, which is very important when looking at those numbers. And in the middle of our show, we go over our sales highlights, which you, spoiler alert, had much better sales than me this last week. And once again, you did here's my 10 sales I want to look at, and I have to sit there and try to figure out what 10 sales do I want to show.
We always do 10.
No, we don't. No, we don't.
We always do at least 10.
Yeah, yes. No, we do not.
We do.
We do 7 to 10. And then sometimes you get real crazy and you're like, here's 15 things I want to show.
Sometimes I have some good stuff.
Anyway, we show you some of the highlights of the stuff that we sold for the last week. And then the last part of our show is our haul, some of the stuff that we picked up over the last week, which we did go to some, you went to some thrift stores. We went to a thrift store together. We went to some yard sales, estate sales.
Yep.
Picked up some stuff. You actually have hard goods this week.
I have a couple. I have a couple. We did some garage sales. Yeah, I went to 4 thrift stores this week, and we did a bunch of garage sales and an estate sale. So we actually did some shopping for the first time in a while.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I see Sandra's in there. Wicked reseller. We haven't seen you in a few weeks. Busy bee that she's been. We were just talking about you yesterday, how we hadn't seen you in a bit.
And I said, yeah, she's working, man. She's taking care of business, finding cool stuff like Twilight Zone jackets, and I'm super jealous. Pretty cool jacket. Anyway, yeah, so we've got some stuff to show. Most of my stuff, you know, I have a couple of things I got over this last week, and then some more of the stuff that I got at Torgum the previous week to show off. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And I did put in a big order, like an $1,100 order, bulk order from New York City.
New York City.
120.
A salsa commercial.
Yeah, it's like anybody younger than us is gonna be like, what in the heck was that?
It was a 90s commercial.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, 125 pieces coming from New York for $1,100.
I'm
so
totally jealous.
$8.80. I mean, for the most part, it's nothing crazy, but in some of my sales I'm going to show today, it's kind of bread and butter stuff for me, like a lot of like 80s, like university stuff. I like the t-shirts and sweatshirts that are from like different schools all over the country and stuff. And it actually does sell really well, you guys.
Nostalgia sells.
It's not as exciting, but it does sell.
So Treasure Boxland, have you listed all the new threads you bought while in LA? Yeah, as a matter of fact, mine will all be done by the end of this week. Katy's probably gonna take a little bit longer. But yeah, we've only been back for not even 2 weeks yet. So we bought 100 pieces each.
Yeah,
so it does take some time to get stuff listed. But my haul from Arizona is 100% listed.
Yeah.
which was about 4 weeks ago.
It took me like 3 days to process, like process everything and then take all the pictures. So I have like everything has been photographed. I got my little handy dandy notebook that has all of my measurements and stuff. So I go through and all my pictures are already on Google Photos. So I probably still have over 100 things to list, but it's already all measured, weighed, photographed, all that stuff ready to go. And so then I have, like I said, another 125 pieces coming in the mail, which I'm assuming I'll probably get like in another week or so, because he's sending it probably FedEx or something like that.
The reason why I actually went sourcing this week is because all of my stuff has already been photographed and is either with Crystal being worked on or is drafted. So I had nothing new, and I had to get enough stuff. So I have some stuff to give to her when we do our swap on Wednesday. So even then, it's still going to be probably pretty light. Because I wasn't only able to pick up so many items in the 4 stores I went to. So I think I probably only have 30 things for her. And maybe try to do a little shopping again tomorrow if I can brave the 50% off people that I can't stand in the crowds. So
it's tough because, for one thing, like what you're saying, prices have gone way up. Like Savers prices have gone way up.
Savers is okay. So I used to be able to purchase anything from, clothing, sweaters, sweatshirts, dresses, jackets, what have you, nothing over $10 at Savers. I will tell you right about now, 75% is over $10 there. And by over, I mean a lot over. So the only things that are worth picking up are when you have a coupon, or if it's on sale, or if it's a very good item. The bread and butter items I used to be able to pick up for $4 and $5. They're pricing at $15 right now, which is really crazy. The racks, I went to 4 Savers this week. I haven't been in a while. I haven't been in a couple months. I went to 4 this week. The racks are so packed that you can't even move the items to look, and their prices have doubled.
Well,
so
that's
for
what's
me,
crazy about
that's
it.
ridiculous.
Because it's like, from a business standpoint, it's like, listen, it always drives me crazy when people bitch and complain about prices at thrift stores or whatever, because it's like, well, it's their business. They get a price it for what they want, and they're not obligated to price it so that you can take it, price it way higher and sell it and make money. That's
when you're selling used Old Navy shit for $15 an item, that's ridiculous.
So let me finish my thought here. But my point is, they're not obligated to help us make money. However, from a business standpoint, if their racks are so full that people can't even shop them, they're probably not pricing it appropriately when they could be moving stuff through.
Their prices were fine before. So Ellendale, we are in Las Vegas. I don't know if you know that. I'm not familiar with their name, but we are in Las Vegas, and I've been shopping in Las Vegas now for the whole 7.5 years that I've lived here. I've been sourcing primarily at Savers, and I've never had a problem with their pricing until COVID. COVID, they changed all the pricing, and it's terrible. So
it's weird, because it's like I said, it's not like they're lacking in sources of stuff. If it's all coming in, it's super, super packed. I mean, I do think that the pricing definitely went up a little bit when they went to that 50% off every week.
It did a little bit, but even then it wasn't much.
Yeah. So,
because I hate to shop on the 50% off day, because the crowds are ridiculous, and there's no reason for that. But yeah.
So we're definitely having to be a lot more creative and working on finding other ways to buy and source. And for you, it's like you can do that with clothing, like reaching out and doing bulk buys from other people online or going out of state, but you're really limited when it comes to hard goods, because for one thing, it's not that easy. You can't just jump on a Southwest flight where you can take 100 pounds for free from wherever it is you're shopping. You can't really fill it up with hard goods, because you're gonna run out of space and weight real quick.
Yeah, the reality is they're not looking. Tommy says they lost money, so they're trying to recoup. I agree. They were only closed for about 5 weeks here.
It's not the way to do it, though.
It's not working, because there's so much inventory that they're not turning it over as fast as they used to. So unfortunately, it's not going to be doing well for them. I anticipate that they'll be changing that shortly. I really do, because if the racks are this packed, they're not moving as much as they need to be moving regardless. So somebody's going to make the changes somewhere.
Like the Savers that we went to, they had like a bunch of new with tags hockey stuff, but it was like that really cheap, flimsy, thin pullover,
like made by Reebok or something.
But they were like pullover, like newer ones, the really cheap and stuff. And they had like 30 of them, and then it was like $29.99 a piece. And it's like, then who's buying that here? Even
Nobody.
for 15 bucks a piece, it's really not worth it.
So yeah, like you had mentioned, and I'm going to say it here on the show, and I did mention it on my personal Facebook page. I did not put it in the group, but I probably will this week. If you are somebody that is looking to wholesale a large quantity of vintage clothing, men's, women's, what have you, and by vintage I mean prior to 1990, not prior to 2000s for me, but prior to 1990, I am always looking to purchase. I'm looking to purchase in large quantity. I will give you fair wholesale pricing, but I'm not looking to purchase 5 at a time or 10 at a time. That's not worth your time or mine, but I will pay for shipping. And by large quantity, I mean hundreds of pieces, dozens of pieces, hundreds of pieces, as much as a pallet, whatever. So if you are someone that's watching the show and you have that and you're wanting to get rid of it and you're wanting to unload it, and it's not stuff that, you know, I don't want your stuff that you don't want to list because it's worthless. But if you're somebody that has access to a lot of, stuff and does wholesaling, I'm definitely interested in buying. So,
but if she's not interested in what you have to show, she might say no, even though this one over here, because I told her, I'm like, you should put the word out. And she's like, well, I have a really hard time saying no. And it's like, you got to say no. If it's
well, when COVID first came down, I did have people, and I did put a petition out like that then. And people did send me some stuff. And I will say that probably 50% of it was not up to par for me. So, but I was desperate. So, I mean, it was what it was. I was desperate for inventory.
And you have to remember that what we sell, what Vikki sells, is she sells at a very specific price point. And so it's not necessarily that people's stuff is not worth reselling. It's just if it's not something that fits within her price point and the kind of stuff that she's looking to buy and sell. I mean, there's a lot of you guys out there who make very good livings and do very well reselling items that sell for $20. And that's totally valid and legit.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not the kind of stuff that we look for. And of course, I'm always looking for vintage t-shirts, guys. Sweatshirts
yeah, I
too.
Obviously can't resell stuff for $20.
No,
not when I've paid up for it, plus paid shipping for it, plus I pay someone to list it for me. Obviously, it's not the thing that worked for me.
Yeah.
But Jen, yeah, if you have plenty to sell, Jen, reach out to me directly. I'm definitely. It depends on the items. So it depends on what you have, but I'm willing to pay up to $5 to $10 per item. Depends on what it is.
Yeah.
If it's an inexpensive item, it's something I would pay $5 for. If it's a jacket or something like that, I'm willing to go up $10 for.
Right.
Once you factor in shipping and heavy, large quantity shipping, depending on where people live, it ends up costing me, a lot more. So, so if you've got a ton of, you're looking to unload and you want to make some quick cash, absolutely hit me up.
And t-shirts, like I said, I like vintage t-shirts.
Yeah, we already know you like t-shirts.
Okay,
let's move on to the show.
Whoa, now we got to move on.
Yes, because we're 15 minutes in.
So we're 13 minutes in. That gives me 2 minutes to give my spiel. All right, what's happening, everybody? So let's go ahead and look at our sales our sales numbers for this last week. Here we go. And I'm gonna
Allison, I wish you did not hate sourcing women's clothing, because everything that you can get for 99 cents, I would gladly pay you $5 for, plus shipping. You could make good money off of me if you wanted to.
All right. So looking at my numbers first, because you know what that means. Vikki did indeed beat me this week, as most weeks. So I had 30 items sold on eBay, 11 on Etsy. I didn't have any Instagram orders, but I was I wasn't super active on Instagram this week. I think this next week I'm going to need to do a story sale or something, get some sales going there, but I didn't really post a lot this last week. 4 sales between Grilled and Mercari, 2 on each of those platforms, for a total of 45 orders going out. My eBay gross sales, $2,175.69. I will say earlier this week, I was below $900 for the previous 7 days. I had a 0 sales day. I had some really low numbers in the last 4 days of this week. Suddenly my sales were good. So that's how I was able to kind of recover. Etsy gross sales, $658.29. Again, nothing on Instagram. And then Grilled Mercari together were $325. So my total gross sales, $3,158.98. So I'm pretty happy to be over the $3,000 mark. Of course, I'd like to go higher than that, but being above $3,000 makes me happy. Shipping, $195.30. You can see the breakdown of all the fees there. And again, if anybody likes the look of this spreadsheet, Teresa, who created it, did make it available in the boss group. on Facebook, and you can see a little breakdown there, total costs. My cost of goods, of course, I have a higher cost of goods most weeks than Vikki, pretty much every week, $600. My net total sales, $2,005.07. My gross average sale price, $70.20. I just barely squeaked above the $70 mark, which is where I like to stay, if not higher. My net average sale price, $44.56. So not bad.
Good.
Not bad.
Pretty good week.
Just eBay's been really wonky. It's like, you know, like I said, my last 4 days have been really good, but I've had so many days in the last couple of weeks where it's been like crickets. So it's tough.
Same.
It's all over the place.
eBay's been tough whenever they're making these changes at the exact same time last year when they changed the item specifics, and whenever they make those big changes on the platform, for me, I know it doesn't happen for everyone, but it's historical at this point. I've been doing this long enough that I understand the patterns. When they make big changes on the platform, my sales do come to a screeching halt for at least a few days at a time. So for me, I had 2 0 sales days this week on eBay.
Yeah.
Even though I did very well for the week, I had 2 0 sales days. So, which doesn't happen when you have 3,200 items listed on the platform. You're running sales, you're running promoted listings, and you're sending out offers every day. You really shouldn't have 0 sales days, and I generally don't. So yeah. It's a little, it's wonky. They're still fixing the item specific stuff. They're still changing categories around. And whenever they're doing that kind of stuff, it is going to affect certain sellers in certain categories. It just does. How that works, who the hell knows? If we understood the way it worked, we'd be running the platform.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh no, dear Lord, no.
I know. Could you imagine?
All right. Tell us about your numbers here.
So I had 38 sales on eBay, 12 on Etsy, 7 on Poshmark, just one little sale on Mercari for a total of 58. So my eBay gross sales were still very good. I had some very high dollar items that sold, even though I had 2 0 days. So that just tells you what my week could have been like. So $34.77 and change on eBay, $8.41 on Etsy, which is a very good week on Etsy for me. $3.29 on Poshmark, and one little sale on Mercari for $75. My total sales were $47.23.38. My shipping was $417. I had a lot of international orders this week. I am loving that my international sales appear to have actually gone up being in managed payments and not gone down. So I'm very happy to report anybody that's not in managed payments that was afraid of the international sales dropping off, do not be afraid. I was one of them. So they seem to have figured out how to make it work properly, and it does now. So eBay fees $411.34, $71.54 Etsy fees, $65.80 on Poshmark, $10.05 on Mercari, total cost of $975.73. My cost of goods relatively low, $227. My total net $3,520 for the week. That's a darn good net for the week.
You're almost double my net.
So my gross average sale price was $81, which is very good really for me. And my net average sale price is $60. So I actually like to keep my gross around the 60, and the fact that that's my net this week makes me very happy.
Yeah, that's pretty stinking good. Nice work, lady.
So Treasure Boxland asked, when is the managed payments deadline that everyone will be changed over? At some point next year, it's going to be everyone. We don't have a drop dead deadline date, and everybody is, the majority or the bulk of people have, the large bulk of people have been switched over already. And I do believe that there are other phases, depending on categories people sell in and where they are, that will be happening over the next year or so.
I mean, sooner the better, in my opinion, because I know that it's going to be, once they have everybody switched over, they can start looking at things like having immediate payment required. That would be awesome. I would love it. Like, I've noticed, well, it's one thing, like I do feel like sales have been just fine with managed payments. But the one thing that I have noticed, it seems like I have a little bit higher numbers of unpaid unpaid purchases.
Definitely. I do.
Which, yes, I know that I can just not take offers, and then that wouldn't be a problem. But for me, I feel like offers do contribute a lot to my sales.
Correct.
So I'm not willing to do that, but I would like it to move towards how it is like on Mercari and other platforms and Grail, where when somebody makes an offer, it's binding, and once you accept it, it automatically charges their payment, whatever their payment thing is.
So we know it is possible. It's just
Yeah, so we're
they
hoping.
just haven't implemented yet, and I really hope that they do at some point. I feel the same way. I definitely have seen an increase in unpaid items. So, you know, we'll see if that will definitely change if they do immediate payment. So
yeah, I mean, it's not a huge deal, but it's just an annoyance. So whatever. All right, you ready to look at our sales highlights for the week?
yes,
Our highlights. Let's start with this cute little guy.
she's not cute.
Yeah, she is. Look at her. Look at her. She's real cute.
So I picked this up. I think I did show this in a haul. I picked this up at Savers. I think it was around $3.99 or $4.99. I had her listed for a couple of weeks, and I did. She did sell on sale for $63.96. She shipped to Canada. They did pay shipping. It's a big, heavy rubber thing. It's not small. I want to say it was like 14 inches long or something like that. She's so ugly, she cute. Yeah, that's what I say about our dog Grizz all the time. She's so ugly, she cute.
Yeah, that's just rude.
But yeah, this is pretty. She's kind of like a heavy latex rubbery thing, and meant to hang up on the wall or sit. She sits the way that she's sitting right there. So yeah, I mean, 'tis the season, right? So it sold for $63.96 plus international shipping.
Very good, very good. All right. My first one is this awesome Dixie Jane t-shirt. Did not sell for the price there. I took a best offer on it, but I really like this shirt a lot. I like the super clean graphic on it. This is one of the shirts I got in the bulk buy I did from Bonnie, who I don't know if she's in the chat. I don't know if I've seen her in the chat yet, but she's one of our watchers. She's in the Boss Facebook group. And she is somebody who reached out to me because she had a bunch of vintage t-shirts and a few sweatshirts that she wanted to sell to me. And I went ahead and bought them all from her.
And she wanted to get rid of her clothing. She doesn't like selling clothing.
She had just like gotten like the entire contents of like a gift shop or something like that. I don't remember the exact details, but she was just wanting to focus on that. And so wanted to kind of get rid of all the clothes stuff. And she had a great selection of stuff. And I've actually sold a couple of things this week from her, but this is the one I'm showing. But I was doing offers, trying to drum up some sales. And so I sent one out for $65 on this and someone accepted. So I sold for $65. I don't remember how many pieces exactly I bought from Bonnie, but it was a number of them. And I think it averaged out to, I think about $15 per item, which I don't necessarily always pay that much when I'm doing bulk buys, but she had some really cool stuff in what she had to offer me.
And they were really cool t-shirts. And she packed like a mofo.
Yeah.
She got it in one box.
It was impressive.
And I have never seen so many t-shirts folded so tightly and rolled so tightly into one box so that your shipping was reasonable. It was impressive.
So $65 for this t-shirt. And like I said, I think I sold at least one or two other things this week that were specifically from this particular haul. So it was pretty cool. But I like this shirt.
I need Bonnie to come pack my suitcases for me.
Oh, she has another Dick and Jane shirt. Well, you need her to come and do.
I need you to come pack my suitcases for me when I go on vacation, because honestly, that is the most insane packing I've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, Bonnie, she has another Dick and Jane shirt with graphic on the back. But Bonnie, I think you said you were working on putting together another bulk purchase for me. I'm excited to see what else you have. But anyway, this is just I like this shirt a lot, so I'm glad somebody got it. All right, next one for you.
This one sat for a while, right? So scroll up so you can see the titles, please. You have that.
Sorry.
There you go. So I think I paid maybe $2 or $3 for this. Picked it up as Savers. I never expected it to go for this much, but apparently some of the Insane Clown Posse stuff that is older, that if you can't find a ton of it, you should price it high. That's really all I'm going to say about this. But I had this listed probably over a year, but it's a hat. It takes up so little space. It cost me $2 or $3, and it sold for the price you see there for $95, almost $96 plus shipping. So it was $100, and I've had it priced at all different price ranges. It just needs to be and you need to find the right buyer when it's somebody looking for a collectible.
I'm just glad it's out of our house.
Really?
Yeah, I'd rather have a creepy doll than an ICP hat.
Really?
Just saying.
That's
just
weird.
Saying. And now that I've insulted our very large Juggalo fan base, I'm not sorry. All right.
I know, it's just such a weird, and it's funny because Greg Dupagier Picker sold something ICP related this week as well. Because I saw he puts all of his fun little sales and highlights on Instagram, and I know I saw something ICP this week. But yeah, it was weird.
Yeah. All right. Next one for me is this awesome Mars Attacks t-shirt. I actually bought this off of Etsy, I bought like a bunch of stuff from one particular seller, and I paid $40 for it. I did not sell it for this price. Again, I was sending out offers and trying to drum up some sales. So I did sell this for $115. So not a huge turnaround, but I paid up for it knowing I was going to make some money on it, even though it was size small. But it's a
that's what the
movie.
Worst thing was, is that it was a size small. Had that been bigger, you would have sold it for double.
Oh yeah, for sure. But
you would have gotten that 200 for it if it was a large.
It was pretty small. I mean, looking at the measurements, it's like 17.25 inches across the chest, so it's a real small T-shirt. But so 115, but it's a really cool graphic. I like it a lot. I love that movie too.
I'm looking at Kara's comment in there. Packing is always a challenge I love to accept. Kara's another one. She came here to visit and brought 2 large suitcases. I think she had all of her clothing packed in her backpack, and she brought all inventory for Katy and I packed into her suitcase. And it was like the never-ending Mary Poppins suitcase. She just kept pulling items out. Here's another sweatshirt. Here's another dress. Here's another T-shirt. Crazy.
I see Dupagé, Piquer, ICP Christmas single. Oh, that must have been a festive song right there. Nothing says Christmas like Juggalos.
So funny.
All right. Here we go. Next one for you. This is a cool jacket.
This is a very cool jacket. So this is one of the items that I got from the Clothing Vault buyout, and this is I had it listed for maybe a week or two, week and a half or so. It sold for the price you see there. Being that this was a part of a buyout, that the dollar amount paid per item was very small, and there were several hundred items that were acquired. So this sold for $119.96. Just a very cool windbreaker.
I think the best part, though, of the whole thing is that even though they'd taken everything down from their site, it was all archived on the internet. So you were able to go. I
stole a lot of their photos. I did. Yeah. I stole a lot of their photos, and thank you.
Huge bonus.
Thank you, Clara and Amanda, for having amazing photos, but more importantly, for having amazing SEO, so that even though your website doesn't have anything on it anymore, I'm able with Google to find those great photos. So that made listing these things and getting them listed very quickly.
Yeah, for sure.
Easy.
Pretty awesome.
So great photos. Not mine. $119.96, and this actually went to Germany.
Ooh, cool.
Germany, Austria, maybe Austria.
Wow,
close enough.
Sure,
about the same.
Pretty much. All right. Next one for me is this awesome Dana Carvey George Bush T-shirt from Saturday Night Live. One. Now, this is another one. A lot of times, especially as of the last several months, for sure, I've been doing a lot of and then not necessarily making a ton of money over what I paid. But especially with doing Instagram and stuff like that, I'm really looking for pieces that I'm going to be able to do high quality posts with, and then the hope is I'll be able to sell it for big money. But bottom line is I want to at least make my money back. So this is a shirt that we were in Phoenix, I think, when I got this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were in Phoenix. I bought this. I paid $120 for it, and I thought, I think I could sell it for $200. And I actually got it to show on the virtual flea and to put on my Instagram. And I'm thinking everything's very political.
I feel like you have a lot of loss leaders. I think that's what it is. It's like a loss leader. You're not going to make a lot. That's what advertising is.
Yeah, for sure.
You're not going to make a lot of money on it. You're not going to lose money, but you're not going to make a lot of money on them. But it's a loss leader. It's something that brings people into your store, brings business in. That's what's called a loss leader in retail.
Yeah. Although I think I might be doing it wrong, because usually it's that's the really cheap crap that people come in for their 99 cents something and
they walk out.
I'm doing it with items that are over $100, so maybe I'm doing it wrong.
Maybe you need to figure out your marketing.
It does elevate my store. So anyway, I paid $120 for it, and again, sent offers out. I got $175 for this, so I made a little bit of money. After fees and everything like that, I probably, in the time it took me to photograph and stuff, maybe I made $20 on it. But again, if you have the capital for it, to me, I think it's cool because I got this awesome shirt and a good conversation out of it. So, all right, next one for you.
This is another item that came from the Clothing Vault. They actually had some damage to the inside. The lining had some rips, and they needed some repair work done. And my amazing lister, Crystal, who is a fantastic seamstress as well, there was a seam that was messed up on these pants, but she was able to fix them. She did fix part of the lining that she was able to, but not all of it, and we disclosed it. So This is something she took photos of. This came from the Clothing Vault. I don't believe they were ever listed by the Clothing Vault, probably because of the damage that they had and they needed some repair work done. But she was able to get them repaired. They were listed for a little over a week, and they had rolled into my sale that you see there, but they sold for $239.96. So I was pretty excited to see that they sold as quickly as they did. I think they would have sold for more if they had if they didn't have the damage to the lining.
Yeah. So Jen wants to know if we saw the Saturday Night Live skit about people's aspirational quarantine eBay purchases. Yeah, we did. It was funny. It was like one of those ones. It's like it kind of makes you chuckle, but it wasn't like a.
It wasn't a.
You weren't getting a belly laugh out of it.
What I liked is that they used eBay branded supplies. They were using eBay branded boxes and eBay branded tape.
Yep.
Which I think is hysterical that somebody at SNL was able to get their hands on that stuff to use. So that was smart.
It's pretty funny. We got Daryl, our friend Daryl Forever Funky. She wants to see a long-haired rocker boy in those pants. Apparently, we'll work on that. We'll see if you should reach out to whoever bought it and say we're going to need to see those on a rocker boy.
Who else? Yeah, Greg says God gave Crystal an extra 5 hours a day. How does she do all she does? Knows? I have no idea. Honestly, she is fantastic. I'm willing to, probably shouldn't say this out loud, but I'm willing to pay her whatever I need to keep her. Yeah. She's really been instrumental in helping me with my business.
For sure.
She's great.
All right, next one for me. Speaking of leather, maybe that guy bought this too, and he's going to do a whole leather outfit with his leather Levi's and leather jacket. So this is, you see a lot of these jackets out there, and they do take a little bit of time. I don't think they sell as quickly as they maybe once upon a time did, but it is a patriotic time right now. I bought this, and I think 3 or 4, maybe 2 or 3 other ones when we went to Jesse's mom's house and bought a bunch of stuff from her. From yesterday's fits, a bunch of her inventory, and I bought a few USA jackets like this. So that was, I don't know how many months ago, 4 months ago, 5 months ago. I don't remember.
As Martha says, America.
Yeah, and also this particular one is a size small, so it's a little bit on the smaller side. But come on, it's very majestic looking. It is very majestic.
I have a similar one. So
I actually sold it for the price that you see there, $209.99. I think it's my highest price point of the week. I believe I paid just $20 for it because like I said, we bought like a bunch of stuff, and there were like a bunch of these jackets. So
where'd you get it in?
I think I got from Jesse's mom.
Oh.
Anyway,
Jesse's mom has got it going on.
Anyway, $209.99 out of $20. So not a bad flip right there. And somebody's going to be just loving America, walking down the street in their USA jacket and their leather Levi's, hopefully. All right, go ahead.
Yet another Clothing Vault item that sold despite the flaws that you see there. This was actually sold it was listed for maybe 2 days, which means maybe I listed it for too low, but it had a lot of soiling on it. So
sounds dirty.
So it's suede. It definitely needs to be cleaned by a leather cleaner. And if anyone has ever tried to get something cleaned by a leather cleaner, the prices are all over the place. And frankly, it would have cost me probably $60 to get this dry cleaned. So I just worked it into the price. It sold almost immediately for $199.95, and customers already received it, and they are happy. And I'm happy. $199.95.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. All right, I'm going to show a twofer for this one. I don't know if any of you guys remember a while back. I think I showed this. I think it was on one of the sourcing videos that we did when we were out at a Savers. They had like 10 of these shirts.
Yep.
And they were all size medium.
We did do a sourcing video, and this was, we haven't done a sourcing video in over a year, so.
But this is like a competitor shirt, and it's all embroidered all over the place. And you see like right there, it says Ruffy. I think that's like a particular, I don't know, competition or something like that. But they were all different colors. Like they were all black, but they all had different, like this one's pink. They all had different colored embroidery right here where it says Ruffy. Now
we do a lot of the NFR and PBR and all that kind of stuff here in Vegas. So we did until this year, and it's been reassigned to Texas or Arizona or somewhere because it's not happening here. So we find a lot of this type of stuff that would made for like events at like Savers or something. Somebody donates later.
But anyway, so they were all new with tags. I think I paid like $7 a piece for them, and I've sold maybe like 6 or 7 of them already for anywhere from $75 to the price that you see there, $97.99. I believe I have like 2 left now, but I sold 2 of them to the same person for the price you see there, $97.99. So I sold this one with the pink lettering, and then this one that has the kind of teal lettering right there. And so yeah, they bought both of them, so basically $200 between the 2 of them, and paid out less than $20 for the 2 of them together.
Nice.
So a nice little sale. So like I said, they didn't go super fast.
They sat for a while.
They sat for a while, but I got them some time last year. But I've sold all of them except for, like I said, like maybe 2. So they still were definitely a good pickup, just knowing that they're not going to flip super, super fast. But
most of what I sell does not flip super fast, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So this did not sell for the price you see there, but a couple of you may remember the large lot of anime tees that I picked up in a fill-a-bag earlier this year at a garage sale. And I think it was probably in May or June. I'd have to double check, but it was a garage sale. I paid less than $1 a piece for them. I've sold, I believe, all except 1. I have 1 left. They all sold for a great amount of money. The first one sold for $400, I think, or $450.
$450.
I think it was $450 for the first one. And this one, at this point now, I mean, it's all gravy. I actually just sent an offer out to this one. I'd had a lot of watchers on it. I sent an offer for $250. They bought it. Great feedback. $250. It sat for a few months, but I paid less than $1.
Yeah. This kind of looks like it's Luna on there.
That's my fat black dog.
Even though this is a pig, but it looks like
it does
looks
look like
our fat little
chihuahua. It's true.
Just saying.
Luna's a pork chop.
Are most of our buyers mostly out of the country? No.
Oh no, not at all.
I would say 20% of my sales are international.
I'm a little less, probably about 15%. 15. I think last year was when I figured it out. It was 17% was international.
Yeah, mine's about 20.
It might be about the same this year, 15, 17. I don't think it's as high as 20.
Yeah. Yeah, Greg, DuPage Picker. I was definitely a little salty and a little sad, but still super cool. So. Okay, next one for me. So this isn't like a crazy sale or anything, but like I was saying, I just bought that 125 item lot from New York City. It's a lot of college stuff. For me, it's like this stuff. It's not super exciting, but I do really well with it. I do really well with like college and university sweatshirts and T-shirts. They're kind of bread and butter, I would say. So that's why I'm buying like that huge lot. But this one, it's just 90s.
They always
sweatshirt. It's got a good graphic on the front of it.
It does have a good graphic.
Yeah, it's just a nice color and really good condition. And I feel like I especially sell a lot of them on Etsy. Like Etsy's like
I agree
all over it. So let's see what it sold for. Baby doo boop doo.
This week that I did not show.
Yeah,
but on Etsy.
There's a 10% off sale, so I actually sold it for $62.99. I paid about $15 for this particular sweatshirt, so $62.99 from $15. And like I said, buying that huge lot for an average of $8.80 per piece, and I'm hoping to average at least $40 per item in sales. So that's kind of what my life is going to be like in the next week when I get a whole bunch of stuff. It's going to be just looking at college T-shirts and sweatshirts.
More college crap.
Yep. Should be fun. All right.
So this one is this is an Etsy sale. I'm not exactly sure where I picked this one up, but I haven't had it listed too long, a few months anyway. This is probably a Savers pickup. Again, I usually remember what I pay for things, but I can tell you I did not pay more than $5 for it. Usually with these vintage sweaters, I'm not going to pay more than $5, but I always pick them up. And it doesn't really matter what the brand was, Rafaela, they still make it. It's that cheap brand. You find it at TJ Maxx everywhere. But it was more for the color block, geometric look, and the fact that it was a big tunic looking sweater. And it's a great sweater, and clothing was made so much better in the 80s than it is now.
That's a lot of why people like that vintage stuff. Also, somebody said, Treasure Boxland said, old ones are made better with that thick cotton. And it's so true. Like that, like I was saying earlier.
For sweatshirts, yeah.
Well, and just any clothing, like I was saying earlier about the NHL stuff that they have at Savers, it's like, it's all just like this really thin, just garbage material, and it's not going to last.
So it sold for $60, but this also was an international sale. So the customer paid $26 for international shipping. And again, using pirate ship, it means that I sold it for $60, and I actually shipped it for close to $13, which meant that I pocketed another, $10 to $12 that way.
Yeah. Greg wants to know which keyword is better when selling tees, dead stock or new old stock, NOS. I would say dead stock. It's definitely within the vintage community, like all the guys that I pay such new on, like Instagram and stuff like that. Dead stock is something that is a word that they're very familiar with and they use regularly. New old stock is not.
New old stock is almost entirely an eBay acronym that started when eBay started, 20 something years ago. I will say, unless you are an old school seller and you're used to those acronyms, the general public does not necessarily know what NOS means. And Greg, I know we're old school sellers, and that's part of it. It took me a while to break that cycle. I was always using those types of acronyms, NWT and NOS and NWIB or NWB, or it's NRFB, all those things that you no longer want to use those things in your titles on anything.
Yeah. I mean, and I almost never use dead stock in my titles. It's not, to me, it's not a priority.
I will if it fits.
But I will put it, but I will put it in, I will put it in keywords elsewhere in the listing for sure. Okay. Fancy. Next up I have this Arnold Palmer Robert Bruce cardigan sweater from the 70s. I love cardigans. I haven't picked any up in a long time, but the Arnold Palmer Robert Bruce ones usually do pretty well, but they don't necessarily like fly off the shelf or anything, but I like them. And I think the color on this is really awesome. I love this nice bright yellow. And you can see this right here. It's just a really cool cardigan sweater, grandpa sweater, if you will. And I
put
Arnold
grandpa
Palmer
in the title a lot.
Have the little umbrellas etched on the buttons, which I think is really cool. And anyway, so this one, let's see what I sold it for. I didn't pay more than $10 for this. This would have been something that I thrifted. It's been a little while, but it sold for 10% off of that, so $89.99. So paid $10, sold it for $89.99.
So a couple quick questions. Tracy wants to know if I know where she could source vintage clothing. I will say that in all of my years selling online, when I lived in Rhode Island, I did not sell clothing. So I do not have any tips for you on that. I did not start sourcing and selling clothing until I moved to Las Vegas 7.5 years ago, because I only sold antiques and collectibles in Rhode Island.
And when we have been back to visit Rhode Island, and when we do go back there, we do go to the Savers there, and vintage T-shirts and stuff are my specialty. And let me tell you, you're not going to find them there. And particularly now, they are at the height of their popularity. I can't. I mean, yes, learn about vintage T-shirts, but I'm just going to be real with you and say you're not
going to have to find other
much
places. Yeah, you're not going to find them at thrift stores there.
You're not going to find them at thrift stores.
So Annette also asked, do you have to upload the tracking from Pirate Ship to buyers? No, Pirate Ship, you can sync your eBay and Etsy accounts to Pirate Ship. So those two, they are automatically uploaded. If you are using Pirate Ship for other platforms, then you have to copy and paste.
Yeah. I do it for Grailed and Mercari, but not for Etsy or eBay. It's automatic. So you just got to check and see what, depending on the platform that you're using. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next one for you.
So this is a fun Etsy sale. Honestly, this is another one. I can't remember where I picked this up, but I think I picked it up somewhere in Phoenix. And I paid about.
Why are you looking at me like I'm in the know?
I'm waiting for you to copy and paste it.
Well, you haven't even talked about it yet.
So it's just a vintage rain spooner. I always pick up the ones that are sports teams. They always sell well. And I tend to price them higher than everyone else because I feel like so many people underprice these things. And you've got to wait for the collectors and you have to wait for the fans. And that tends to be around that sporting season or the holidays. So I paid maybe $5 for it and it sold for $89.95.
Very nice. Very nice.
Not that I even know what the Minnesota Gophers are, but Google was my friend on that one.
It's a school team. See, school stuff. All right, 90210 T-shirt. Remember, I got this actually somewhat recently, within the last month.
R.I.P. Luke Perry.
Oh, Luke. Oh,
he was my favorite.
I never really watched the show, but I did very much love him in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie, not the television show. 90210 t-shirt, got it from yesterday's fits sometime within the last month. It does have some wear, a couple of little holes in the back. I paid, I believe I paid about either $30 or $40 for it. And I sold it for
every time with a song.
10% off of that. So I sold it for $89.99. Bought it for $30 to $40. Sold it for $89.99. And that's about it.
I was a big 90210 fan. I saw every episode, even 90210 the college years, which was kind of shitty. But I loved the original 90210. I even watched the remake this last year because it was supposed to be really good, and it was not. Yeah. But I watched it anyway.
I've maybe seen like 10 minutes here or there, but really it didn't watch
and they canceled it. They didn't even renew it, which was too bad because it was pretty bad. But I still watched it.
Yeah. All right. This is an awesome theory.
So yeah, this dress. Okay, so this is one pretty hard to photograph. It's a pale off-white and a light blush pink. So as you can see, I enhanced most of the photos because that's the only way that you could see all this lacy detail. So I mean, the photos are very good and it's very crisp and clear. It's just I will say that the photos did not even do this justice. It is a beautiful dress. It was listed for, I think, 2 days.
Crazy.
And it looks like, I mean, this is just such a beautiful romantic wedding dress. I can see someone doing portraiture photography in this. It's just gorgeous. So I got it at Torgum. I paid $15 for it and I had it listed right away, but it was listed for like maybe 2 days.
Is this your first big Torgum sale?
Yeah, it is. And it sold right away. It sold for $179.95. And I will say, if you look up that brand, Lori Kabbalah, that is probably the highest priced sale for that brand.
That's awesome.
You're going to get over $100 if you have a good dress, but this one was the style sold it for sure. It's really pretty. I would love to see if someone bought this for a wedding dress.
Yeah, it's really super pretty. All right. Next one for me.
If I were tiny, I would wear that.
Sometimes I sell women's stuff. Really, it's just because I grabbed this jacket. I don't know where I got it. I think I might have gotten it from yesterday's fits when we very first bought a bunch of stuff from there. And they had it all piled up in that other store space. But I don't, I don't think I paid more than $10 for it. But based obviously on the way that it's buttoned, it is women's. Kind of acid washed denim jacket. I don't usually do women's stuff, but it's just such a cool jacket that I got it anyway. And so I've had it for a little while and it was purchased. So first of all, I'll show you what it sold for. So I believe I paid $10 for this and again, 10% off. So it sold for $89.99. But here's what's really cool about it is it's like something in the address that's something costumes. And so then I looked up the address and it's like some studio. It's like the home base of some studio. They have studios all over the world that they do television and movies and commercials and stuff. So unfortunately,
so went to a costume warehouse.
Unfortunately, I have no idea what show or movie it's going to be on, but it's still pretty cool to know that it's going to be on something.
I love selling vintage items to prop departments. Mm-hmm. We've both sold a bunch now at this point. I love it.
Yeah, it's just really fun. And they're great customers because no matter what, they're not returning it. They're not going to be like,
never.
They're not going to be like, oh, this doesn't fit quite right. I mean, I'm sure if you were a terrible seller and you sent them crap, they might open a case against you if it's just garbage. But as far as like the little things, if you're a reputable clothing seller and it's just something like it didn't quite fit right, like you're never going to get somebody who's going to say,
never,
this didn't fit right. If anything, they just do an alteration to it right there. And
I've sold so many things to prop departments over the years in all different parts of the world, and I've never ever had a return.
Yeah, never. All right, next up for you.
This was my one good Poshmark sale. Poshmark and Mercari, I feel, happen to be platforms for me where I am. The most items that I sell there tend to be items that I've had for a while.
Yeah, and
I'm blowing out low prices to get them out of my inventory. So I don't have a lot of high dollar items on either one of those platforms, but it works for me. I think I'm averaging around a little over $1,000 a month on Poshmark and about 500 or so on Mercari for the most part. So it's not too bad. But anyway, this I paid about $10 for. Whenever you see these vintage Western blazers, I always suggest to pick them up because you're guaranteed to sell them, or I sell them every time for anywhere from $75 to $125, and I love them. So I sold this for $80. $80. So life in NYC, I thought if you use pirate ship from Mercari, seller does not get the same protection versus the label generated by Mercari. Yes, that is absolutely true. You do not have Mercari protection, but you still have USPS protection, which will give you your insurance and your your tracking and all of that information. I think people tend to overthink protection because I've never had an issue with Mercari, and I've had over 400 transactions on the platform. So, and I have never, I shouldn't say never, I do not use their label unless the item is a heavy label, because their pricing is good for heavy items. Their pricing is crap for clothing.
Yeah, and I sell lighter stuff, so I don't worry about it. And I get insurance through pirate ship if it's something if it's $100 or more. So, not really worried about it. Anyway, yeah, I do feel like there are a lot of people who, you want to make sure that you're protected for sure, but you also have to weigh like the risks and the reality of it and what makes more sense for your business in the long run. And if you're going to make more money by using a particular shipping service, and maybe you're not going to have the exact same protection 100% of the time, but it's like the 1 out of 400 times if something goes. Maybe
it's a cost of doing business.
So it's just like you just got to decide like how much do I want to hold back my business from being able to grow or make more money per transaction.
That's the reality. You're going to have some returns. You're going to have a couple lost packages a year. You're going to have some 1 or 2 people that's going to abuse the return process. That's just the reality of doing business online and e-commerce in general. So for me, it's, you just have to know. It's just like if you had an overhead or if you had a physical business location, you have a certain amount of what they call shrinkage, and that's going to be lost. That's going to be for me, shipping over 3,000 packages a year, I can count on both hands how many issues I have a year. So it's never going to change how I do business. I'm not, you don't want to do business based on fear.
Yeah. Tracy, when you create a listing, there's an option to do the shipping yourself. And so choose
your own shipping and create your own label.
It just depends on how your listings are set up. I don't have any of mine set up to use Mercari's shipping. Okay. Whoops. Let's go to my last one. I just had a couple sales on Grailed, and this was one of them. Actually, this buyer bought this and one other item. We were negotiating prices because he's overseas. And he wanted a certain price on this. And I'm like, well, I can't go below whatever the price was because it's going to cost me to ship it to you. And he's like, well, what if I get this other thing too? And so we negotiated the price and it ended up being 2 items for $170. And it cost me like $25 to ship them. So it went really well for me. And he got what he was looking for. But this was one of them. It's really cool Super Bowl sweatshirt. I think this is awesome because it was a Super Bowl that was in New Orleans. So it has this really cool
I like that
New Orleans jazz theme to it. It's just a really cool all over print sweatshirts. And I paid like maybe again $30 or $40 for this, knowing that I should be able to sell it for at least 100. And that's the thing, guys. Like I know from my own experience, it can be really scary paying up for things, but I've come to a place where I know a lot of the stuff that I pay up for, it's like I know no matter what, I'm going to be able to sell it and recoup my costs.
Yeah.
But I know I'm pretty confident I'm going to be able to make some money and again, have really super cool items in my store. I want people, because I sell in a niche market with my vintage tees and sweatshirts and stuff like that, I know I have repeat buyers. I know I have people who follow my store. And so I want there to regularly be super cool stuff coming through there. So they're always going to want to come back and make sure that they check to see what I have in my store this week. Even if they don't buy it all, at least they will be wanting to look because they're curious.
I don't have a lot of repeat buyers, but I also sell so much, one-off stuff. So, we got a little, you want to say? We had a little super chat
We got
from
super
Mr.
chat
Buys a Lot.
From Mr. Buys a Lot. $10 super chat says, "Hey, Katie and Vikki, it's great to see you girls. Love the education the girls provide. You two are amazing with a capital A." So that's pretty amazing. I don't know about you. It's pretty amazing. Glad Casey showed you to me. I hope that means that now you watch us instead of Casey, because once you find us, I mean, Casey's kind of old news. Just saying. No, just kidding. Casey's a buddy of ours. So thank you so much for the super chat. I'll give you a little super chat. Super chat. Just super chat. Yow. Ah! Ooh, I came at you from the other side. You weren't even expecting it.
You're ridiculous.
Anyway, thank you so much. Appreciate it. For sure.
So Tommy in Seattle makes a good point. Yes, thank you for that. Makes a good point in saying you also get to deduct that shrinkage that you have on your business, on your taxes every year. So it's not, you know, you're not totally losing money. So it is a deduction. It is something that I hope you're keeping track of, whether you have returns or you have losses or you have damaged items. These are all things that you write off on your taxes for sure. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Allison, Allison's a very smart businesswoman. And she says, lately I asked myself, would Justin Bieber wear it? And if the answer is yes, I buy it. I mean, he does. I will say though, he kind of dresses like a homeless guy. So
he's got a little bit. He's a little bit ridiculous.
Some of his pictures, he looks like he might have just rolled off a train.
He kind of looks like the guy that you hire to paint your house that never shows up after day 2.
Yeah, pretty much. Then you find him out sleeping under the porch under a tarp or something. I don't know.
Yeah. It's kind of what he looks like these days.
You know what? He spends a lot of money to look that way, and so we're going to keep buying the kind of stuff that he might want to wear. So you are correct. Anyway, yeah, Jamie says that's why I'm always afraid to branch out and list different stuff. I have a ton of repeat buyers because of my niche. But you know what? Some of that you can deal with by just having different stores. Like some people have second eBay stores, or I don't know which platforms all you sell on. But some people definitely, when they want to try something different, they open another eBay store and then they put those items in there. So they kind of protect that niche that they have in another store that they don't want to kind of clog up their inventory with stuff that doesn't really make sense if you're not already a seller that just sells everything.
So Jinx asked a question about my hair. Yeah, it is getting longer. This is what COVID does to you, right? Can you?
Oh, really?
When you put the thing up there, you can't see what I'm.
I'm sorry. Well, I wanted to give Jinx her moment on the screen, and now it's all about you, isn't it?
Yes, my hair is getting longer. It's coming back to normal. This is where my hair normally is. But yeah, thank you for asking.
Yeah.
Nothing new. It's just this is what it looks like when I don't blow dry it out straight. It's the curls.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, but what was he wearing whilst passed out under that tarp? That's the question we all need to answer. So
probably something that Katy had in her store. So for sure.
Anyway, all right. Should we go ahead and do our haul for the week? I have a few. I really don't have a ton. I have a few items that I got.
It's okay. You don't need to have a ton because you're gonna spend 10 minutes on each.
Not on every t-shirt. But I think I only have a couple that have a story to go with. But you're very rude. You realize that you're protesting.
I know. It's going to make you do it more.
Only make me do more. So I feel like maybe you hate yourself a little bit. It could be. Anyway, I didn't pick up a whole lot this week, but I have a couple of things, and then of course some of the key pieces from Torum from the previous week or whatever. But you can go ahead and go first.
I get to go first.
You always go first. Why do you say that like you're surprised? You go first every week.
Whatever. I'm going to do my hard goods first because I actually have some fun hard goods this week. So one of the things I picked up at a garage sale yesterday, I paid $10 for it, is a vintage 1970s handheld Canon video camera.
That's pretty cool.
This is actually made in Japan. So that's one of the reasons why I picked it up. First of all, video cameras are making a comeback. Some are better than others. This is one of the better ones. When you find something electronic that is vintage and it is made in Japan, pick it up. If it's made in Japan, it was made better, and it's usually highly collectible. So whether it's a video camera, a piece of recording equipment, a stereo piece, a VCR, whatever, when anything's made in Japan, I'm telling you right now, pick it up. So I paid $10 for it. It came with a little case, which is kind of fun because it's got this big braided strap on it that's so totally 70s. But this right here, I paid $10 for it. So I know, right? I paid $10. It must be gold. But I paid $10 for it. This will sell for about $300.
Crazy.
It's a Canon Cano sound. And it just happens to be it's a specific model made in Japan. And this, once I figure out how to make it work and I print out the manual from the website, that's another thing you should do. A little pro tip: print out manuals from a website. They're usually Googleable, and if you print out the manual and include it in your sale, it usually will add some value to it. So, yeah.
Today's word: Googleable.
Googleable.
I'm pretty sure that's the Googleable. You just go to Google it, your Google sheet, you can Google it right up. It's Googleable.
I'm gonna punch you right in the head.
The nice thing though about electronics, not that I buy and sell them, but the nice thing about electronics is they pretty much all have like model numbers on them. So if you are somewhere where there are electronics and you're not sure about them, Googleable
them. I can't even say that. This is another yard sale purchase. You can see the little price tag right on it, $3. This was actually not that expensive. You can see the price tag, or you may have, somebody sold it at TJ Maxx for $9.99. But the thing about it is that it is actually worth about $75. It's just a Lionel train as seen on TV, alarm clock. It's got the little train that moves around. It is new in the box. So they are selling for about $75. I paid $30. $30.
That's my train sound.
That's your train sound?
Yeah.
I paid $10 for this guy too, so I don't know. So creepy ventriloquist doll, but he's actually in really, really good shape. The only problem is that the string is not working great on his mouth. It's still attached, but it's not working great. Most people are not actually buying these to use them. They're buying them as a collection of some sort.
Just creep the F out of everything.
Right, and they hang them up. But so he was $10, but he came with a box. It's from the 1960s.
I scouted him.
And his name is Ricky. I don't know if he was supposed to be like Ricky. I'm not really sure. I didn't dive too deep into it. But again, this is another one that sells for probably about $75. He may sell for a little bit more towards the holidays, so I'm going to price him pretty high.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He tried to steal my soul. Yeah, I don't know. But I'll take $10 into $75.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. What else do I have back here?
Oh, what else you got?
I have a doll. She's not entirely creepy. She's kind of...
I don't know. I think she's creepy.
Anyway, she's a collector doll. So what a lot of people... you can tell when a doll is well made. So she's a collector doll. I paid $16 for her. Her hair's a little bit jacked up. I got to fix her hair and fix her pigtails. But the brand is... she's a designer doll. So I don't normally buy like the porcelain ones and stuff like that, but she's 228 out of 600. And it's a Reva, R-E-V-A doll. And I just knew that she was well made. So this particular one, this also sells for like upwards of $75. And I did pay up a little. I paid $15. She looks kind of like a toddler doll. I mean, she's got these cute little shoes and a little corduroy dress. She's not too bad.
No.
She's not one of the especially creepy looking ones.
No.
Let's see. I'm going to do just a couple more of the hard goods, and then I'm going to let you do your clothing. This is from Garage Sale as well. You guys know I love my vintage blankets. This is a blanket robe. This comes in a little case. These are vintage, but they're dead stock, and the little case is like a stadium cushion. They're like a stadium robe. People would take these to like football games, and you'd carry your little...
I like to carry my robe in my briefcase.
Carry your little robe in a case, and then you'd sit on the case. Yeah, so I paid $5 a piece, and these are dead stock, and they're wool. They're wool robes. And
I think that their catch line should have been, "We're so serious about comfort, we mean business."
That's freaking terrible. Freaking terrible. Yes, I think it would be like a pre-snuggie. So I paid $5 a piece for them. They don't sell for quite as much, but I think I can probably get $50 each for them, just because they're dead stock.
Sandra apparently has very greatly upset her neighbor by wearing her robe on the front porch this morning. I take packages when I ship. Sometimes I take them out to the front of the house in my underwear, and I very often go and get the mail down the street in my pajamas. So I don't wear my underwear down the street. And if I see anybody outside, and when I say underwear, they're boxer briefs, but they're underwear. And if I see somebody, I won't do it. But if I don't see somebody, I'll step out a couple feet onto the porch and put some packages in the bin.
She does.
So I'm just saying.
To my abject horror every time.
Well, why do I have to worry what Karen down the street thinks about what I'm wearing?
Well, our neighbor's name is Karen, and she is a busybody.
It's actually not.
It is Karen, isn't it?
No.
I call her Karen. I call her Karen. Oh, Robin.
Nice.
It's Robin. Sorry. I call her Karen all the time. So this is where I need my super sleuths here. So this guy, big old Santa Claus.
It's like an evil Santa, though.
I paid $12, so it was like 20% off of $15. He's huge. Okay, so he sits. He's got like his butt and his legs are curved, so he sits. He is musical or talks or something. I'm waiting for the cord to come in. I bought a cord to make him work. He has no brand on the bottom, but he's really well made, and he's velvet and this nice velvet outfit, and he's got the bell on his hat, and he's just
jingly jangly.
I can't freaking find this thing anywhere, guys. So who are my super sleuths? If I can find a brand, I can find a price. I'm going to price it high anyway. I bought it because it was well made, and I'm sure it probably does something. So I'm excited to list him, and I'm probably going to list him for $75 to $100. But it would help, obviously, if I knew what the brand was and what he did. No, nothing on the bottom. So me Googling has not found much so far, but
yeah.
If any of you guys happen to recognize the style or who could have made it, hit me up.
Yeah. Karen, we apologize for the
poor Karen.
For the Karen name calling. But I will tell you,
it is unfortunate that you have that name this year. I know some fantastic Karens.
Multiple awesome Karens. One of which is the co-host of one of my favorite podcasts, My Favorite Murder, Karen Kugera. Mm-hmm. So we know there are some really cool Karens out there, and you are one of them. And that's just the way it is. So I was not calling her a Karen in a negative way. This one was. I'm going to blame it all on her. I was just pulling a name out and saying Karen.
I know.
Because she has never acted like a Karen in the negative.
She's very nice. She's very nice. She is the neighborhood busybody, but I mean that in a good way. You always need to have at least one person like that in your neighborhood.
She knows everybody.
She knows everybody. Talks to everybody. Knows what's going on, and I appreciate that. Daryl, I have not tried Google Lens. I will try Google Lens. I usually don't have very good luck with that, though, unfortunately. All right, and I will do my last.
Have you tried to Google a bullet?
Have I tried to Google a bullet? I'm going to show my last thing. I did show this on Instagram yesterday.
Here, I'll take it.
I can't. Can you turn it around?
It's huge. Nope, I'm only showing the back.
This was my $5 purchase from a garage sale yesterday. Another oil painting on velvet, on black velvet. But it is a fantastic one. First of all, it's huge. It's like poster size. It's like double the size of most of the ones that I find. But she is gorgeous. This is this American Indian, Native American woman. She is gorgeous. Black velvet. We've got Atlanta Miles behind there. But she's just super, super pretty. And she's got like the black wolf over her shoulder. I don't know. I just think it's awesome. So it is signed Ortiz. Who is a signed black velvet artist. It's not super vintage. I would say it's probably from the 90s, which is when a lot of the Native American artwork became super popular, that whole Southwest thing. But she's just stunning. I'm going to sell it for at least $200. I paid $5 for it. We walked up to this garage sale, and I was like, how much? The guy's like, I couldn't get the $5 out of my wallet fast enough. But it's a nice wood frame. It's in perfect condition. It doesn't even look like it was hanging, because usually older black velvet paintings have tons of dust on the black velvet itself, and there's nothing on it. So
Darlene wants to know how you ship something this big.
Oh, geez. A lot of cardboard and frankenboxing.
Yeah. This actually isn't that bad because there's no glass on it.
You can put Native American in the title, Kara. It depends on what you're trying to sell. You can put Native American as a descriptor. It does depend on.
I use it all the time.
You can absolutely use it. It depends on what category you're trying to sell it in. If I'm trying to sell something as Native American art made by a Native American tribe, they want a tribe attributed to it. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to sell jewelry or Native American something specific like that. So I'm sure it's not even a. Oh, Sally says, what did Sally say about the Santa? Yeah, it says BCNI on that one too, but I don't know what the heck BCNI is. Yeah. I can't find it.
But anyway, as far as shipping something like that, it's just a matter of getting or making a box that's big enough for it. And again, because it's not, there's no glass on it, that takes away 95% of the difficulty that usually comes with shipping art.
Yeah, it will probably be pool noodles around all 4 edges, lots of cardboard, and then lots of shrink wrap, and then more cardboard. Yeah. Like Kathy says, rolls of cardboard and wrap it around. Yep. For sure. Okay, so Katie, your turn.
What? I get to go?
Yeah, you get to go.
Okay, so we went, I'm going to show, just for funsies, I'm going to show what I got yesterday when we went to Savers, because I will tell you, for the most part, when I go to thrift stores with Vikki, it's very, very common for me to walk out with nothing at all. Yesterday, I actually did find a handful of vintage tees at the Savers we went to, but this is the nature of trying to pick up vintage t-shirts in just a regular thrift store these days. The stuff I got, super basic, super mediocre. The only upside is I paid very little for them, so I should be able to still make money on them. But like this is like a good score in a thrift store today, doing t-shirts. This is just like a basic, it's just Coronado, California, nice graphic. It's in really nice condition.
Very neon-y.
Very neon-y. Just on a Juanita tag. You know, I'll sell that for like $35. This is, I actually thought this one was kind of cool. It says Corvette Heartbeat, and it says Corvette Plant, Bowling Green. So this is from a Corvette plant. So there's going to be somebody who's like a Corvette collector.
I like that one. I didn't even see it.
Yeah,
I didn't see any of these, actually.
Yeah, I didn't see any of these. This is on a Marina tag. It's just a 90s tee. I got 20% off, so it's $5.50. 20% off of $5.50, whatever. Again, sell for like $35. This one I actually thought was kind of cool, even though the graphics kind of so-so. But it says walk across Europe, and on the back of it, walk across Europe, and it's got like somebody did some sort of wellness walker club did like a walk across Europe. So it's got like the little map and stuff. And you look at the tag, and it's like the old Hanes tag, late 80s, early 90s. Again, paid $2.50, so 20% off of $2.50, $35. So you can see like this is actually a pretty decent haul for going to a thrift store, but nothing crazy exciting. This one's kind of cool. I wish it had a bigger graphic. It says Pirates, but it's spelled P-Y-R-I-T-Z, and it says Pirates Pyrotechnics for Las Vegas. I'm assuming this is like the crew that does, it might have been the people that did worked on Pirates of the Caribbean, because didn't they have like a big thing there?
Not Pirates of the Caribbean, but Treasure Island.
Treasure
Island had a pirate thing.
Yeah, pirate thing. And didn't it have like pyrotechnic stuff? Anyway, so it's nothing like crazy exciting, but it's kind of cool, especially if you're somebody who does pyrotechnic stuff. And anyway, $3. Sell this for like $30.
That's a cool one too.
I actually really like the graphics on this. I wish it was on the front, but this says Joint Stars, Eyes of the Night. And this is, I don't really know exactly what this is. It's like an owl and a plane. I'll have to look it up to see exactly what this is in reference to. This might be my favorite thing I got, though, just because it's got a really cool graphic.
This is a cool graphic.
Was $2.49. Again, this one I'll probably sell for like $40. It's on a Fruit of the Loom tag, probably early 90s. So yeah, paid a couple bucks for it, sell it for $40. And then the last one, this one needs to be washed, but this one was $2.50 as well. But it's Honolulu Police Activities League.
Oh, I like that one.
So it's kind of a cute thing. Again, probably only sell it for like $35. It's on that Hanes tag. So yeah, so this seriously is like,
that's like the best haul you've gotten in a long time at a.
This is like a huge haul at a thrift store. Like huge. Kind of boring.
Bigly even.
In my opinion, because I need a little bit more excitement than that, but still, that's what I got. That's what I was able to get. So I was pretty excited about it. Then I'm gonna show this one thing and I'll let Vikki go because I am gonna tell a little story with this. It's gonna take longer than 2 minutes.
It's gonna be a minute.
It's gonna be a minute. Anyway, so if you're on Instagram, particularly with people who do vintage clothing, one of the things that's very common with like the vintage streetwear is doing raffles. So you have it. Let's say you have a T-shirt that you.
Dana's in the chat. Dana's won a couple raffles.
Yeah. So Dana knows what I'm talking about. But what somebody will do is, like, let's say you have a T-shirt that's like a really desirable one. You could list it and hope it sells, or you can do a raffle. So you might have 10 spots or 20 spots at $10 a piece. You sell all the spots, you get $200 for that T-shirt, and you do it as a raffle. And the person that wins put in $10, and they get a T-shirt. I do them very sparingly as in entering them myself, because I'm not going to spend a bunch of money to never get anything. So this is probably the third raffle that I've entered. So all in, I've probably like $50 into raffles before I finally won. So this one was 10 spots, $20 per spot. I got one spot, so I paid $20. And you got to pick between 4 T-shirts which one you wanted to win. And what I thought was really cool is the guy who did it, he went live, and rather than doing like a random number generator, he had a 10-sided die, and he basically rolled the die, and my number was 5, and anytime it landed on your number, you got a letter, and the first person to spell fright won. I won. I chose the Wishmaster tee. So I got to pick this awesome Wes Craven.
Bring it up closer to the camera.
Wes Craven presents Wishmaster. He's not the director. He just produced it. But this is a 1997 horror film. Just a really cool T-shirt. It's single stitch all around. It's on this cool. I like this all sport tag because it's actually a really good quality T-shirt. And you see this on tag on
it's heavyweight. Yeah,
a lot of really cool vintage T-shirts. So 1997, single stitch all around. Nothing on the back, but nice big graphic on the front. And so basically I paid $20 for this. I should be able to sell it for at least $200. I already have it listed, but it's a really cool T-shirt. And it's a nice big extra large size. So again, I don't do them all the time, because if you enter these raffles all the time, you're going to end up spending a lot more money. But like I said, now I'm $50 in, and I got some I'm going to sell for $200. So that's pretty good. And just a really cool T-shirt. And I love Wes Craven and horror movies. Boop, 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 boop. You like that?
You're ridiculous.
I thought that was a pretty good, succinct story around that. Yeah, Dana says.
DuPage picker first.
Hold on. Dana says that she starred in a horror flick about psycho roommates this year. Yeah, soon to come to theaters near you guys. Anyway, DuPage picker.
He's hoping that the COVID goes away, so he can come back and live here in Vegas
and maybe give it a try when it's an actual city where
when he can actually go outside and see people.
There's a couple of theories, guys. One theory: Greg has the worst luck ever. Put a lot of time into planning to move to Vegas. Came, and pretty much the day after we all hung out, the whole city shut down. And number 2, he's the devil, and he brought this down upon us.
He brought the COVID.
He brought.
Forget China.
He brought. It's all Greg.
It's DuPage picker.
Yeah. And I don't know. Is it a coincidence that the bar that we went to hang out, the one time we were able to hang out,
2 days after he moved here,
the bar that we went to hang out at, no longer in business permanently. Greg DuPage picker strikes again. So I'm just gonna say I'm a little nervous about him coming back, but I'm willing to chance it because I think he's pretty cool. Just saying, come back. That's
poor
all.
Greg.
Maybe second time will work out a little bit better.
He moves here, gets locked. Locked into the rental and can't leave the damn house.
I mean, things can't get any worse, right?
Jeez.
I shouldn't say that, should I?
Westside Gary got my signed football. Oh, you're welcome, Gary. I'm glad that I was able to donate it for. Crystal had done a little fundraiser for a reseller that I do not know that was in need, and I was able to donate a couple of things. And Westside Gary happened to be there. It was during the live auction. I only auctioned off a couple of things, and he got a great football. So
very cool. All right. Why don't you go ahead and I'll let you go before.
Liz said, "Damn, I thought it would be cool to meet Greg in person one day. Now I'm not so sure." Yeah. Sorry. Sorry.
All right. What you got?
Okay. So what do I got? What do you got? couple of things. I'm just going to show some clothing, most of which I picked up at in Torgum in LA a couple of weeks ago, and that are just about to get listed. So this is a nice, super cool 60s dress in like a very fun, like it's like a salmon orange, is almost a zebra print. It's a fitted polyester dress with like some really fun tied sleeves, very, very 70s, 60s, 70s. And it has a big keyhole with a big bow at the neckline too. So I paid $15 for this. I'll probably list it for about between 75 and 100. It's a really fun dress. Let's see, another one I picked up. This is definitely a 60s kind of a day shift dress. I'll show a little a tag. Not that the tags mean a lot on vintage, but this is a very cute paisley. It's like a semi-sheer drop waist dress. So very 60s, something, yeah, very, very Goldie on Laughing. You're right. So very pretty paisley, blue and pink dress with a drop waist and just these little pleats on the bottom. Again, paid $15. That's probably a $75 dress. This is another Torgum dress. Again, they were all $15. Let's just go with that. So this is, again, this is another kind of a Goldie Hawn dress. I love this one. This is like a fitted dress with long sleeves and a little bit of a, like a mandarin collar, mock neck. And again, the polyester. This would be one that would look great with a pair of black go-go boots or even white go-go boots, actually.
Yeah, man.
This is another one. This one might go for a little bit more just because the pattern is really cool. So I'll probably list it a little higher. That one's probably like $125 dress. So it has that Poochie look. You are right, Mr. Buys a Lot. The black one does have a little bit of an Emilio Pucci look to it. It's not. It would be worth a heck of a lot more if it was. But it does. It looks like it's handmade or homemade, which is pretty common for a lot of vintage clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. This is another 60s dress. This is wool. This is a wool fitted wiggle dress from the 60s. And this one is very pretty. It reminds me a lot of like a Monet art print. It's just this muted watercolor print, and it's very pretty. It's just a fitted sheath dress, a wiggle dress, if you will. It would go right below the knees. And it's just a sleeveless. It's probably a modern size medium. There is no slit on the bottom, which again makes it even more of a wiggle dress. The reason why they would call them wiggle dresses is because it would be fitted tightly to a woman's body. And if there was no pleat and it goes below your knees, you have to kind of shimmy when you walk. You cannot take a long stride in a dress that is tight. That goes below the knees. You just can't. So that's why they call them a wiggle dress. This is one that I'll probably list for about 150 just because of the style and color and everything. So wiggle, 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 wiggle. Let me do one more and then you can. This one's a little bit more fun. This is not super vintage. This was $10 at Torgum. It has no tags, to be honest with you. I don't know if it's vintage or not, but I can't find any others like this. It's a faded, it's a woman's jersey dress. It's a Jason Voorhees. You've got the Halloween mask on it, but it's long, like a dress, and it's faded, and the graphic is kind of peeled off a little bit.
I feel like our friend Penny would wear that.
Penny would totally wear this. I have this listed for $50 right now. It's because there are none that are like it exactly. It's got like 3/4 sleeves. I don't know. It's kind of fun.
It's super fun.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And that's it for now. You can do more.
It's my turn. It's my turn. It looks like they were talking about some sort of auction that Mr. Buys-A-Lot is hoping you're going to come watch. So apparently he's got like a bunch of vintage clothes from a story bought out. So you might want to pay attention.
Mr. Buys-A-Lot, you may need to send me a message because I don't watch anybody on YouTube, and I know that makes me a terrible human being be having a YouTube channel, but
by definition that makes you awful.
I don't know anything about your channel, and please let me know if you're going to do an auction with vintage clothing because I'm all over it.
Yeah, for sure.
In fact, I'm looking to buy in bulk, so if you don't want a vintage, auction, you can always hit me up.
Yeah. There you go. All right, I'll show some more of the stuff that I got when we were at Torgum. Some of the key things I was really excited about. Now, the thing about Torgum is that most of the stuff it's gone through so many different places where items have been picked out of it. So you're not going to find a $4,000 wrap tee. You're not going to find you're
not going to find an Emilio Pucci dress.
Most likely. However, some stuff does make its way through, and there's always a chance that you're going to find some little diamond in the rough, and you just never know. So maybe I won't be able to sell this for a ton of money. I don't know. I think it's super, super cool. But this sweatshirt right here, I grabbed it because it's awesome. And this is actually from an 80s movie called Wired, which is based on the book. I don't remember if the book has the same title or not. But you notice that it kind of looks like a little Blues Brother-esque. And that's because Wired was the kind of biographical biopic of why is my mind gone completely blank all of a sudden? John Belushi. It's a John Belushi biopic from the 80s based on a book about John Belushi. The movie was kind of a bomb. It didn't do super well at the time. But it's, what's his name? The commish is who actually is this picture. What's his name? Mike, isn't it Michael?
I've never seen
you ever watched
movie.
The Commish? Okay, The Commish, the show The Commish, the guy with the lilies
I
bald.
didn't watch that either. Sorry, I'm not
Chickless?
helping you.
Isn't that right? Something.
Michael Chiklis, yes.
Okay, that's who this is. He played John Belushi in this movie. So, but just a cool, really cool sweatshirt. Blue, buzzed, crazed, wired. I would imagine, I mean, they may not have even known this was a movie sweatshirt. I don't know. I think it's super cool. It's on Jersey's tag. But yeah, this movie is from like 1980. I don't remember exactly, like 86, 89. I can't remember exactly, but it is from the 80s. I think it's a super cool sweatshirt in great condition. I think all the sweatshirts I paid like 15 to 20 bucks for. But I hope to get like 150 out of this. But again,
Pretty cool.
Who knows? Because it's like,
it's very specific.
it's so specific.
Mhm.
Who the heck knows, guys?
Seriously. So Westside Gary says it'll be on T's channel at auctions. I don't know who T is, and I've never heard of auctions for you, but sure.
I'm assuming that probably either Crystal or Laura are going to know about it.
Yeah, Crystal, if
And
you're,
then they can-
she always watches the show after the fact. She very rarely watches it live because she's actually doing a lot. She usually does listing for me on Sundays, actually. Yeah, Crystal, if you happen to know when it is, or somebody wants to tell me when that auction is, I will put it on my calendar and I will watch it.
What Dana says, is it biopic or biopic? I say biopic because it's a biography picture.
Mhm.
So I say biopic, but I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know if any of my mods know whose channel it is. Gary, I'm sorry, none of us watch auction.
Anyway,
channels.
anybody who's watching who might have,
But if you happen to know,
Actually send it.
you can totally send it or drop it or message me or whatever, for sure.
Yeah.
It's
All
on
right.
the 31st and the 1st. Thank you. Thanks, Brian. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I will
very
keep
cool.
an eye out because I'm always looking for good places to
So do you say biopic or biopic? What do you say?
biopic.
Yeah, I say biopic too. I don't know. Anyway, this I should be getting this listed here in the next couple of days. But really cool. Now there are rules around post office stuff. You can't.
It's just like police stuff.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I actually got a security jacket pulled this last week. One that had been listed forever, and it
Nice.
says it wasn't even like a police uniform. It was like a security jacket, like an old vintage security jacket. So whatever. Anyway, so you have to be careful of that. But USPS, any uniform stuff, you can't list because it's just a safety thing. They
Well,
don't
you
want-
can if it's vintage. That's the thing. It's just like police uniforms. I just listed some 1950s and 1960s police uniform jackets
Well, the one I
today.
had was vintage, got pulled. So the point is, stuff can get pulled, and if you want to stay away from it, whatever. But this is not a uniform; it's just a sweatshirt. It says Express Mail, USA, Postal Service. I think it's really cool. It's in great condition. It's got a cool graphic on the front of it. And if you want to get anything anywhere in any timely manner these days, you pretty much have to do express, because God knows it took like 10 days for me to get a priority package a couple weeks ago. But it's on this old Hanes tag, so the sweatshirt, I don't know if that's a date on it. I don't think so, but it's probably late. It's probably 80s based on like the style of the sweatshirt itself.
Yeah, that's not a uniform thing though.
No, it's not. I know.
Okay,
I was just I know, understand it's not uniform. I was making a point about post office stuff.
Post office stuff and like police stuff. It's very similar. Even military stuff. So I sell a lot of militaria and vintage militaria. You can sell current military uniforms, just like a military surplus store, but you can't sell them international. You can sell vintage international.
Yeah, Mr. Bizel says like with the, looks like he's talking about like the old uniforms, you have to add the word obsolete, like that helps. Anyway, but I do think it's like one of those things that, yeah, there's the rules and then there's the reality of how it ends up shaking out. And seriously, the jacket that I got pulled was stupid.
Was it like a Tuffy jacket?
Sort of, but it wasn't even a good one, so it was just dumb. So yeah, that's that one. At Torgum, they have a couple of rooms that are kind of by the office in the back, in the bigger warehouse where we were at.
And they're invite only. You can't just go into them.
Well, you can, but you can't take, you have to leave all the stuff in the office. You can't walk around you can't go grab stuff and leave with it in the rest of the warehouse. Like you have to go in and say, I'm going to go shopping here. And then you have to come in and give them the pieces to hang on to until you come back later. And it has like their newer stuff, some of their higher priced stuff, and they have stuff all over the walls. And this time I looked up at the walls and I was like, yeah, I'm going to need that shirt.
Can you take that down off the wall for me, please?
Because hello, it's awesome. Anyway, it's a Colorado ski t-shirt. It's got some wear and fading to it, but I love it. It's got the whole map system, and it's got this awesome graphic of the skier on it. And you guys know how I feel about the ski t-shirts. You know how I feel about my
So it's like a tie-dye, all over print, and ski all at the same time.
Absolutely. So yeah, so most of their stuff back there can be priced a little higher, but when you're buying in volume and buying a bunch of stuff, a lot of times it just ends up being the same price as everything else you get. So I believe I got, at most I paid 15 for this, but I think I paid 10 probably. But it all just depends on the volume of what stuff.
Depends on what you're buying. Yeah.
Yeah, how much you're buying with particular types of stuff. It just changes person to person, so you just never know. Anyway, I love it. It's pretty.
Allison says, "Ugh, it's perfect."
It is perfect. Well, it's not quite perfect, Allison. It would be perfect if he took off his mask and underneath it was Jesus. Then it would be perfect. Because that's the only thing I'm missing is a Jesus skiing Jesus. But you can't
all over print. Oliver prints.
Now Allison was going to design one, but it's got to be vintage. So either, I guess what we could do, Allison, is what we need to do is start collecting some vintage t-shirts blanks and get somebody who can take a graphic that we design of Jesus skiing.
I want to say someone posted in our group that I think it was our group. It might have been Casey's group. I'm not sure, that they found a whole bunch of vintage blank t-shirts. That would be perfect.
Well, I find in places too, but maybe it could be like freestyle to salvation, and it would just be Jesus like hitting the slopes. What do you think about that?
Freestyle to salvation.
Yeah,
that's going to be the tagline. Jesus.
Yeah, we're talking about Jesus. You were correct.
I can't even
see, Allison. You're right. So it is perfect because it actually is Jesus skiing. He just has his
vintage Jesus tees on Instagram. Are you kidding me? There is someone with that.
Well, yeah, because it's a very popular.
Is that actually a person's handle? Handle, not just
because there's a lot of money. There's a lot of money to be made. All right, put your phone down.
I gotta find.
We're still doing a show. Jesus, we're still doing a show. Anyway. This is a really cool shirt. What I love about this is it's like an advertising shirt. Well, it was, I think it was for like an event or something, because on the back of it, it's Nissan and United Way. Isn't that the thing on the bottom? Is that United?
Oh, man.
Are you helping me?
I'm looking at, yes, that's the United. That's the United Way.
Okay, so it's Nissan and the United Way, and it said, "We did it with a little common sense," spelled CENTS. But the front of it is like an all over print with little scent marks. So I think that's pretty cool.
Ridiculous.
I think it's pretty cool. The nice thing though is I've washed all of these.
Thank God you've washed it.
So I can put them all over your face and you can be irritated but not disgusted.
It doesn't smell like nasty vintage BO. I appreciate that.
Now, as Dana knows very well, I am also cornering the market on T-shirts directly marketed to people who just love them some cows. Okay, I've got my Oliver print cow T-shirt that I showed a few weeks ago.
Oliver Prince, say it right.
Oliver Prince. And Dana, I now have a new addition to this particular section of my store, and this is my Vermont Country Cyclers. This is a biking club.
So it's a cycling cow.
Well, no, the cow's not cycling. The cow is hanging out in the field wearing his cool shades because he's a cool cow. And in reflection in his shades in the glasses, you can see the people cycling on by. Vermont Country Cyclers. There you go.
Oh,
look how cute he is. It's a cute little cow. It's a cute little cow right there. And that's on a approval tag. Right, cute little cow right there. If you love cows, Dana knows what I'm talking about. He's outstanding in his field.
It might be Jesus on a bike. It could be. You don't know.
I've moved past cat tees. Now it's all about the cows, guys.
Brian wants to know, are those shirts fast movers, Katy?
Oh, the fastest. The fastest. All right.
We got more?
How much more do you have left?
I can do like one more round.
Okay, you do your round, and I have just a few more, and I'll show.
Another Torgum fantastic vintage dress. So this again was another $15. One of my fun little polyester dresses. This is a very 70s. It has that front smocking with the kind of like an empire waist almost, with the really fun floral and polka dot. It has these little bracelet sleeves, little bracelet cuff sleeves, and we've got the border print on the top and on the bottom, but then you've got a little flounce, a little ruffle on the bottom. So this one is probably going to sell for, again, paid $15. This is probably like a $65, $75 dress. Cute little polyester dress. What's nice about these types of dresses is that, yes, they're vintage, but this is the type of dress that somebody could rock with some like ripped leggings or tights underneath and some Doc Marten boots and a little leather jacket over the top. And honestly, if I were a smaller person, I would wear so much of this vintage clothing and I would upcycle it and make it more modern. I could dress somebody. I could totally, like my kid, my 28-year-old daughter, who is a size 00 and weighs 90 pounds soaking wet. If she came here, I would rock dressing her. But she doesn't like my vintage crap. I wish she did. I wish she did, because she would pull it off. All right. This one was a $10 purchase from Savers. This one is a nice typical muumuu, typical Hawaiian muumuu. Muumuu. Back on the cow theme.
Muumuu.
It's a moo.
For those of you who like cows. Go ahead.
So this one is a like fun elastic one with the big flouncy skirt. The brighter the pattern, the bigger the size, the better it will sell. And this one is like an extra large. So I expect I'll get about $60 for this. The small ones take a little longer to sell, but muumuus that are bigger sizes sell fast.
Mm-hmm. So Tommy wants to know, how do you wash, cold or warm water? I'm one of those, everything is washed in cold. Does it matter? We wash pretty much everything in cold. Mm-hmm. Like when I'm doing my whites and you're bleaching and stuff, cold is actually pretty good for bleach. I've seen, I mean, I'm not an expert in bleach and stuff like that, but I have seen some things say that like if the water's too hot, it doesn't work as well. So, which is fine because we'd rather use cold water anyway. Occasionally, if I've washed something and maybe there's still some issues in like grease spots and stuff like that, and treated a bunch of different ways, I might try washing it in hot water and see.
Yeah, we both wash everything in cold water because we do so much of it. That's another thing too. I mean, we do try. I mean, trying to be as environmentally conscious as possible. I don't wash everything I sell. Katy doesn't either, but she does wash probably 90% of what she sells, if not more. I wash maybe 10% of what I sell. I don't know. The T-shirts are different. She's got to like do a whole like thing cleaning them all. I'm not washing jackets. I rarely wash dresses, things like that. So
I also buy a lot of stuff that has issues like stains and stuff like that, and a lot of people don't bother And so that's how I end up getting it at a better deal, and then I'm able to treat it and have it be in much better condition. So.
All right, let me finish. I got like 2 or 3 more, and then you can do your last stack here. So this is a brand that I wanted to give you a bolo on. You guys know that I buy a lot of vintage sleepwear. I love buying robes. I love buying nightgowns. They always sell well. This is just a big, heavy pink terry cloth robe with big buttons on it. The style itself is not anything special, but terry cloth robes do sell very well. This is one that I'll probably sell for about $75. I paid $4 for it, but what I wanted to show is this one's not incredibly vintage, I don't think, or if it is, it's maybe like early, like 2000s, late 90s or whatever. I didn't buy it for that. I bought it more for the brand. The brand is Stan Herman. Stan Herman is a higher end brand of nightgowns and robes, and it's more of an expensive brand. So if you see that brand, it doesn't have to be vintage. I always suggest you pick it up for nightgowns and robes.
Did your parents wear terry cloth robes when you were a kid?
No, my mother did not wear a robe.
My dad did. His was blue. How about you guys?
Okay, and then this is the last thing that I'm going to show. I don't think I showed these last week. I think I talked about them, but I don't think I showed them. So these also came from Torgum. I paid $10 a piece for them. These are vintage 1960s.
Oh, yeah.
1960s handmade clown costumes, okay?
I love this one.
So this one, it looks kind of like a scarecrow. It's got like the ruffly sleeves, the big yarn balls on the front of it.
Is it linen?
I think it's a linen cotton fabric blend. It's got
just this particular.
Yeah, I mean, it's got all kinds of fabrics all over it. It's just, I'm gonna try to stand up to show you.
Love it. It's really, really cool.
So if you look up vintage clown costume, I'm gonna sell this for probably $100 or so. It's got this big zipper up the back. It's like this adult one size looking thing.
I think it's awesome.
So yeah, Pennywise may have actually worn it before he got totally creepy.
Yeah.
And then this is another one. It was probably like a husband and wife. The orange one looks like it was more of a man's. So they probably had like matching costumes or something. This one is women's. And it has a drawstring neck. You just kind of step into it. It's got this terrible patchwork floral fabric. But this one has bells on the ankles.
That's annoying.
And then it has this little collar that you tie around the neck too with like the pom-poms on it. Again, I paid $10 or $15 for this. This will probably sell it for at least $100. I have them priced to go now, so hopefully someone will buy them in the next week or so. Vintage costumes do well.
Yeah, that one's really cool.
All right, that's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right,
I'm done.
I just got a handful of things left. I don't always buy like destination tees, like, you know, like vacation tees and stuff like that. But sometimes if I think the graphic's cool, I will. And this one is for Aqua Tours in Cancun. But look at this graphic. First of all, I like the color a lot. And then it's just got this, of course, it's an Oliver print t-shirt.
Oh, he's got like a little scuba dude. And
it's just cool. It's got the little scuba diver in it. And you can see all the little ocean life. And it's double-sided. I just think it's a really cool shirt. So I paid $10 for this.
It is really cool.
It's got a tag I've never seen before that's like Ogo. It's kind of funky. Made in Mexico, but this is definitely a 90s shirt, single stitch. Yeah. Just really cool shirt.
Totally 90s. So Jen asked, will vintage 60s and 70s polyester dresses sell even if they're kind of scratchy? Yes, it's just like those big, heavy, scratchy sweaters. I don't like them. You might not like them. The way a fabric feels to you, don't worry about it. Buy them and sell them anyway. Somebody will buy it. Someone will wear it. Not everybody has that type of sensory issue with different fabrics. I'm the same as you. There are certain things that I'm like, oh, I would never want that on my skin. Angora, scratchy wool, it all sells.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of Jesus t-shirts, guys, this is like an awesome one. I got this at Torgum. It's so worn and faded and just worn out. But it's an awesome shirt. And on the front, it says, charge your life with Christ, good through eternity.
Oh, my.
And it's like a MasterCard charge card. I love it. It's just, it's super thin. It's actually really soft. It's probably very comfortable to wear. Single stitch. Probably 80s. Soft. The tag is all worn out. But it's like some weird tag that I haven't seen before. But based on kind of the fabric content, this is definitely a 50-50 blend. So it's probably 80s, late 80s. Awesome t-shirt. Love it, love it, love it. I'll probably sell it for like $75.
I think it's fun.
If not more, but I have it listed at $97.99. Speaking of ski stuff, come on. This one's dope.
It's dope.
Dope. It says Frozen Thunder, Aspen. It's got down the side. It says Frozen Thunder, Team Thunder. Look at that awesome graphic. And this is the back. That's the front. Sorry. This is the front.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the back, it's got like a little Team Thunder graphic on it.
That's weird. It looks like the graphic is backwards.
No.
That looks like a mullet, but it's like a reverse mullet.
No, yeah, but there are ones, it's in the center is the difference. So if it was a mullet, it would be off to the side. So
well, the way you were holding it, it looked like it was off to the side. Sorry.
Yeah, it's right in the center. But I think it's a great graphic. It's a mock turtleneck, mock neck, long sleeve t-shirt. Great graphic. Really good colors.
Perfect.
I got 2 more left. Now, last time I was at Torgum, I got a really cool ballet, like American ballet t-shirt, which I ended up selling for $100 on Grailed. It was like black, and it had a really big graphic of a woman and man dancing. And the person that bought it from me, like, actually went to that school, it was like the American Ballet or something like that. And they wanted to know if I got any other stuff. And so I sent them these, but they weren't the right size for them. But one of them is this really cool Solido 1989 Charleston, South Carolina, which is an arts festival in South Carolina that just happens to have like a dancer on this graphic. It's really cool. Nice big size.
Allison can always get a chuckle out of me, of course. That big cervical spine hit.
Look at this.
She said on the other one.
Look how big this is. 1989. That's a good size. Hello?
It is a good size.
I'm talking to you. It's not super tiny. Well, that's the whole challenge of the 80s t-shirts, is finding ones that are not 17 inches across the chest. And then this one I thought is the coolest one right here. This all over print. It's got the dancers on it.
Is that one from Torgum? Did I hand that one to you?
No, you didn't hand it to me. It might have been from the back room.
I think I did hand this one to you.
You might have. But all over print. Actually, you skipped it and I grabbed it, and I'm like, why would you not get this? And you're like, I thought about it. Anyway, just really cool. It's got the sheet music on it, and the really cool dancers on it. And I actually posted this on Instagram, and right away got a message from somebody who was interested, who just graduated with like their BFA in dance or something like that. Of course, then I told them the price, and they were like real quiet after that, which is usually
what happens. Real quiet.
Which is usually what happens. They just don't even bother responding.
We've been going for almost 2 hours. This has been a long one.
I was on my last one. Why are you so rude?
No, I'm just making an observation. I know that was your last one. You said it was your last one. Why do you have to get them on me?
They're dancing on your shoulder. Why do you hate art? Why do you hate music?
Clearly, that's what it is.
Anyway, boo, boo, boo. That's about it, guys.
And that's it. We are done. Okay. Almost 2 hours. Thank you, everybody, for hanging in there with us. That did. Allison, the cervical spine hit cracked me up. Brian said he has to go cook dinner for the wife before she gets home. That's a good man right there.
Yeah, what are you cooking for me?
Nothing. We're going out to dinner.
You jerk.
Mm-hmm.
You joik.
We are actually going out to meet up with our reseller friend, Emily Sabaco. She is in town with her daughter, and we are meeting her for dinner at 6 o'clock.
We usually get to see them every year at eBay Open, but we didn't have.
There is no eBay Open, and our reseller event has been pushed to next year. Hopefully, we'll be able to do it then. We're at 50% capacity for venues right here in Vegas now as of last week. Unfortunately, the venue that we are having our reseller event at, we need to be at 100% capacity because they only hold 300, and we're doing 300. And
it's almost impossible to plan for a large event 3 months in advance. I mean, we need at least a good 3-4 months to be able to give people a heads up.
Mm-hmm.
And who the F knows what's going to be happening 3 to 4 months from now.
Yep. So they just keep moving our deposit for us. So we will be having it hopefully when we open back up again as a country overall, and people feel comfortable flying again. I'm very happy to tell you guys that we will be having our reseller event.
Yeah. Someday.
It just looks like it's sometime next year.
In the meantime, we're going to go over to Jamie's because she's making us homemade Amish style chicken and noodles over mashed potatoes and beer bread.
Oh, hi. That sounds yummy.
We'll eat all of that, and then afterwards I will lie on the couch. I hope you have a comfortable couch at your house, and I will lie on the couch and I will moan because I will be too full. because I will have eaten too much bread and noodles and potatoes.
Carb coma.
Carb coma. Do lots of moaning.
Mm-hmm.
And then about midnight, I'll be like, I'm hungry, and I'll go have some leftovers, and then I'll go to sleep feeling real sick.
Jeez. Tommy says 2022, please get here. Seriously, I don't know about you guys. We're going to sign off in a second here, but 2020 has been, it's been great for business because we haven't been able to do much else other than work real hard.
Yeah, it actually has been good for business.
It's been good for business, but it's
not worth it. Not worth it, guys.
No, I miss my peeps.
Mm-hmm.
I miss hugs.
Yeah.
I'm still hugging some of my friends, but you know, I just because I have to. Human contact, guys, needs to happen.
Yeah.
So.
All right, guys. We love you. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. We will see you next week, next Sunday on Sunday Live Haul. And if you need to get a little more of us, make sure you're following us on Instagram and come hang out with us in the Boss Facebook group, which is linked down below. And we will talk to you later.
Right.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys.
We'll see you next week.
And maybe go out and vote because everybody should be doing that, right?
If you can,
Everybody,
vote. And absolutely, Kimberly, hashtag don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Just be nice.
Yeah. Don't be a dick.